think with resilience, it's not being afraid of failure, not being afraid of fear, and ultimately challenging that, ultimately learning from it, and exposing yourself to hardship, to suffering, to adversity. That's where resilience is built up from. It doesn't have to be through a military program. It has to just through everyday life. But ultimately, it's about identifying that situation, taking ownership of it, holding yourself accountable, and tackling it face on. A lot of people shy away, or they have the easy option and they choose the easy option, and therefore you will not build resilience if you do that. The easy option is something in life that's presented to us on a plate, where if you decide to decide to step off that path and to challenge yourself, that's where you build up resilience, because ultimately you expose who you are, you expose your emotions, and you learn to deal with them. That's what resilience is. It doesn't have to be climbing Mount Everest, being in the special boat service, being in the special forces, being in the military. It's about taking on challenges that will challenge you and test you. And I always have recommended to talk. It is the best outlet that you can do, is talk to someone. If it's too much, talk to a loved one, talk to a friend, talk to a stranger if it makes you feel better. But there's also that line of pushing people down that avenue of talking. I say to people, people say to me, Ant, I don't want to talk. I'm like, well, how do you know if you haven't done it? So I'd always say to people, talk. Because if you don't know, you don't know what, the effects it's going to have. Lots of people, they've started talking, and it's the best thing I've ever done. Brilliant. Well, guess what? You need to keep talking. Then I'll have some people say, Ant, I've spoken, and yeah, it's done me, but it's not really for me. I'd rather keep it in. Like I do. I do that with my father. My father's deaf from when I was 5 years old. I speak about it very rarely. Does it do me good? Not really. I prefer to hold that in. That's they're my memories. They're a few dark places that I don't want to revisit, but I manage them. The moment someone's trying to really push me into that, push, that's when I would go the other way. The main mistake that I made was, this whole once a Marine, always a Marine, and it's like, and you're not in the Marines anymore. But then, well, if I'm not a Marine, who am I? Well, you're just like everyone else. You just got to start somewhere, and you've got to build your way up. But ultimately, when you step out of a position of not only authority, but of eliteness at that level, and you jump into the unknown, you think you're going to start off on this level. It's wrong. You need to start, get me wrong, you're not going to start on the bottom of the ladder. You'll probably start 2 or 3 runs up, but you're not going to start on run 10. Mm-hmm. No, it's a whole new sort of reality check. And that was very hard to accept. You go out and you think, right, I've earned this, right, but you need to keep earning it your whole life. You need to keep earning that run on that ladder. You need to, start somewhere. And I always say to people, no matter what career or lifestyle change you transition into, you have to start at the back of the queue. Okay? But what a lot of people do, they start at the back of the queue, and after 6 months to a year, they think they can jump out and take the shortcut because they've had such a good career before, and they take a shortcut, they get lost in and around the bazaars, and before you know it, 2-3 years later, they find their way back to the queue and they have to jump at the back of the queue again. On my childhood, and when I reflect back on what happened, I actually, take a positive from it. Now, a lot of people say, Ant, how good? I believe that there's a positive to take from every negative. Your demons can be something as little as temptation, something as little as maybe doing a physical activity and you having to exercise the aggressor within you to get over that last hurdle, to get over that last hill, to get over that last obstacle, whatever it may be. And it's just about not letting that control you, but ultimately acknowledging that it's there. Now, I'm sure sometimes everyone, you want to kick kick the wall, or you want to, you go, oh, I want to, you know, but you control that. You make it work for you. You know, there's so many of us out there that want to help, and there's so many of us that need help. And if you are in that situation, then absolutely, you know, it's like I said, it's just like rebuilding, you know, from your foundations. It's just, but ultimately, you know, again, you'll only accept help if you want help. You know, again, it all does start with the individual. And I think with anything like this, the main message that I can deliver from this is just be honest with yourself.